Mystery 7, The Missing Form. Permission forms for the 6th grade field trip to Millbrook Pottery Studio were due Friday by noon. Mrs. Calloway did not collect them herself. She kept a blue plastic bin on the corner of her desk, the same bin she used for homework, quizzes, and anything else students needed to turn in. Students dropped their forms in on their own. Mrs. Calloway checked the bin at the end of the day. The form itself was one page: name, parent signature, date. At the very bottom was a small seat preference box. Optional, easy to miss. Most students left it blank. On Friday afternoon, Mrs. Calloway counted the forms against her class list. Sophie's was not there. Without a signed form, Sophie could not go on the trip. Mrs. Calloway said she was sorry. She said if the form turned up over the weekend, she would do what she could. Sophie said she had dropped it in the bin Thursday morning. She was certain. 2 classmates said they had seen her do it. They confirmed she walked to the desk, leaned over the bin, and dropped something in. They could not see what was written on it. The bin was open at the top. It sat on the corner of the desk, visible from most of the room. Miss Calloway had been alone in the classroom after 3 o'clock. 2 other students, Jenna and Peyton, had been near the desk during Thursday's free work period, around the same time Sophie turned hers in. Mrs. Calloway brought the matter to the Mystery Club on Monday. She said she wanted to find out what happened before involving the office. The suspects. Jenna was near the desk Thursday during free work period, returning a colored pencil to the supply cup next to the bin. Has had tension with Sophie since October over a boy named Marcus, who has been spending time talking to Sophie recently. She says she didn't look in the bin and didn't touch anything. No one can confirm exactly how long she stood at the desk. Peyton was also near the desk Thursday, dropping in her own permission form. Also has feelings for Marcus and has been visibly annoyed this week when Sophie's name comes up. Says she dropped her form in and walked away immediately. Sits closest to the desk of anyone in the class. Mrs. Calloway had access to the bin all day Friday and was alone in the classroom after 3 o'clock. She is the one who brought the case forward. Claims she never saw Sophie's form and it simply wasn't in the bin when she checked. Brought the case to the Mystery Club herself before going to the office. The discussion. Mrs. Calloway brought Jenna and Peyton to the library after second period. She sat at the end of the table. David, Anne, and James sat across from the 2 girls. James looked at both of them for a moment. Then he pointed at Peyton. You dropped your own form in the same bin? You had your hand in there. I dropped it in, Peyton said. I didn't dig around. Anne looked up from her notebook. Did either of you see Sophie's form in the bin? Jenna shook her head. I wasn't looking at the bin. Peyton said, I saw a few forms in there when I dropped mine. I don't know whose they were. How many? Anne asked. Maybe 3. I wasn't counting. James leaned back. Okay, Marcus. Jenna's jaw tightened slightly. I'm just saying the name, James said. That's all. That's not why I took it, Jenna said. The room went quiet. I didn't say you took it, James said. That's not what I meant to say, and you guys know that, Jenna said. Mrs. Calloway cleared her throat. Whatever's going on socially, Sophie wasn't thinking about any of that when she filled out the form. She just wrote her best friend's name in the seat preference box. That's it. Anne wrote something down. David looked up. Your turn. Was it A, Jenna, B, Peyton, or C, Mrs. Calloway? Who took the form, and how did you know? The solve in 3, 2, 1. The Solve. James was halfway through a theory about Peyton's hand placement when David spoke. Mrs. Calloway? She looked at him. How did you know what Sophie wrote in the seat preference box? Mrs. Calloway opened her mouth. She closed it. Then, quietly, Millbrook was her grandmother's studio. Her grandmother passed in November. Sophie wrote her best friend's name at the bottom. I could see she had no idea that's where the trip was going. I just didn't want her to walk in there unprepared, and she stopped. I was just going to put it back, maybe. I hadn't figured out the rest yet. James looked at the table and didn't write anything down. The answer. It was Mrs. Calloway. During the meeting, Mrs. Calloway stepped in to calm things down. She told the group that Sophie had simply written her best friend's name in the seat preference box, and that she wasn't thinking about Marcus at all. That detail came from the form. The seat preference box was at the very bottom of the page, small and optional. The two witnesses who saw Sophie drop her form in the bin confirmed she walked to the desk and put something in. They could not see what was written on it. Nobody could. Mrs. Calloway had told the Mystery Club she never saw Sophie's form, but she knew exactly what Sophie had written in a box that was impossible to read from a distance. She had read it, which meant she had held it. The form she said she never saw. The Mystery Club will return.